Hello my scrappy friends and welcome to my channel today. It's the 1st of September, which means a new challenge for Scrap the Boys, which is this fun mixed media challenge, something right up my alley. Here is the page that I created, and there's lots of mixed media on here. I had lots of fun creating this one. So I've pulled out this photo of my boys on, it was Easter Saturday, and if you don't know the story already, back when my older child was about 2, we started setting a trap for the Easter Bunny. Think Wile E. Coyote trying to catch Roadrunner with, you know, the stick and the wood and the really stupid lame traps. But my kids think it's great. They both now set the trap up themselves. We put a plate under a washing basket with a carrot on it. And so this was our Easter Bunny trap for this year. So what I've got here is a stencil and some light modelling paste. This is the Liquitex brand. And I literally just smooshed the paste through the stencil. What I'm doing here is just like smoothing out the edges so that it kind of blends out from texture to the cardstock. I learnt this technique a couple of years ago when I was in Queensland taking a class from Michelle Grant. And it's just, yeah, it just gives a bit of a different finish and I really like it. So I have used this stencil in this way before and I really love the way that the colour moves and dries and blends. So you can see what I've done there. I use all Shimmers products. I started with Snow Wayman, I think. And I literally sprayed the page with some water and then I spritzed some colour right in the middle where my photo is going to go and just tipped and tilted the page to get that colour moving. The second one that I have created, no, not the second one I have created. Sorry, I'm just looking for my bit of paper with all my information. The second colour that I have used is Deep Blue Sea. And then I go in with Ahoy Matey in Deep as well. So that really dark one, I think... Oh, I think that's right. So you can see I'm just adding a little bit of colour, getting a bit of depth, a bit of difference in colour, and just tipping and tilting the page, going back in here and there with a bit more colour. I spilled it all over myself. This process video was really long, so that's why this is super sped up. But I didn't want to cut out the mixed media portion because this is what this challenge is. That darkest blue looks black here, but it's definitely not. It's just dark blue, and as it dries, it becomes a bit more obvious. I did soak up some of the liquid from there as well because it was quite wet. I went in with my heat gun, and then what I'm doing here is I wanted my edges to be a little bit softer, so all I've done is re-wet that paint and gone in and kind of tapped it with my finger to blend it out a little bit. And then I decided I wanted to add some pink. So this is another Shimmers colour, and this one is Cotton Candy, and you can see, so because I've got the pink with the blue, I really didn't want to create purple, not because, and this time it's not because I hate purple, it's just because I didn't want purple on the page. I wanted the pink and the blue, and I do bring in some yellow as well. I just felt like they were really Eastery kind of colours, and they're the colours of some of the acrylic pieces I'm going to be working with. So that's why I wanted the pink and the blue and the yellow. So I am just adding a little bit of water and a little bit of colour and moving that around to get those different colours happening. And I end up adding enough pink that this looks like it goes like diagonally behind that photo. And I'm really happy with how my mixed media comes out. Dried that off. And what am I doing here? Oh, I've weighted down all the corners. Obviously with mixed media, it has, my page has started to warp a little bit. And I didn't want all of my splatters to run. So I have just weighted down the 4 corners, and I'm going in again with those same 4 colours and adding splatters. I'm adding way more of the lighter colours than I do of the rest, just because I know that once I start adding those darker colours, they can very quickly take over the page, and I didn't want that to happen. Now, I got so caught up in creating this that I totally and completely forgot that Cut To You are our sponsors for this month. Totally forgot. But they are our sponsors for this month, and there are Gwen has amazing cut files. In my blog post, I have shared one of my favourites from the new releases. So make sure you head over and check those out. I will link that in the description box below. But yes, Cut to You is one of our sponsors. If you don't know, Cut to You is run and owned by Gwen, and she creates amazing cut files. And not only does she sell the digital versions, but you can also buy the they're called custom cuts, and she will ship them anywhere in the world. And there's kits too, which are an awesome product. And she has just yesterday or the day before uploaded a video sharing about the kits. So that is Cut to You is our sponsor this month. And what I'll get back to my video now. What I'm actually doing here is some of my splatters did start to blend a little bit, and I just grabbed my water brush and I'm just like spreading that colour out a little bit more so that it looks more like intentional watercolour rather than an ink splatter that bled. Does that make sense? So yes. What I've got here is my title. It says Always Believe. It is an Annabelle acrylic piece by Anna's Craft Cupboard, and I wanted to make this yellow. So I've added clear gesso, and I am just again using more shimmers. I did start with the nozzle, but it was working okay, but I just figured that a paintbrush might be a bit better. This colour is called Chickadee. So yeah, I'm just painting that on. I'm pretty sure I end up doing, I think I just do, no, I do 2 coats, but it dries pretty quickly. So I think you watch me put it all on. Yeah. And then I'm just going to go back in. You can see in the joins of the letters and stuff, there's a little bit of pooling. So I'm just soaking that up. I added some more yellow to my background with that same colour in splatters. I added some tissue paper behind my photo, and I have literally pulled some scraps from my box of scraps, and I am adding some layers of paper behind. Again, I'm going with the pink, the yellow and the blue. I'm pretty sure that this particular paper is from a baby boy collection, maybe Bella Boulevard, maybe, I think. Yes, in fact, I'm pretty sure now that I just saw the back of it. So I'm just, as you can see, roughing up the layers. Again, mixed media, make it a bit messy. Decided to trim this one into like photo corners almost, so triangles. Distressing all the edges. First I'm going to add some foam. This part is pretty sped up as well because I do muck around with it for a while, getting my layers just right. It's just a little bit too big. Love this blue. This is the Chamel paper. That pink chevron is a Maggie Holmes. This yellow is from Fancy Pants, Joy Parade collection. So I'm just tucking in layers just till I get happy, just till I'm happy with how it's looking. Messy, bright, fun. So here is where you see that I start to really, I can't remember how much of this I cut out because I do muck around with the layers a bit. I'm like, oh, I'm not loving this. What am I going to do? How am I going to fix this? Okay, I'll pull that off and I'll put this in here, and I'll take this off and I'll add this in here and I'll take that off. And so it is sped up a fair bit. I do like that really, that pop of the darker pink and the darker blue. It is quite subtle, but yeah, it just gives a bit more contrast. Same as with my background, that darker blue just gives that a little bit more contrast. It was a bit sad to use this paper, but I do love it. So better on a page than in my box of scraps. Rainbow hair. I'm like, yep, happy with that. Title will fit nicely there. I'm going to glue that down. Just making sure what parts are going to be sitting on the photo. And I do kind of put it on a little bit of an angle because it kind of fits in. So I've got some other Annabelle acrylics here as well. The eggs and the bunny. This is where I got my colour scheme from. I'm adding glue to the back of these eggs and thinking that I will need to, because otherwise you will... I'm adding glue and then I'm smudging it with my finger, thinking that if I don't, it's going to be really obvious where the glue is. Now these are frosted acrylic, so it's actually really not obvious where the glue is. That yellow egg does not stick, and I have to go back in and add a thicker coat and not smudge it, and you can't even see where the glue is, which is pretty awesome. I'm sticking the bunny down, and I'm going to stick down my photo cluster as well. I'm just using that gesso to hold things in place because I know that nothing wants to stick with all that stuff in the background. My bunny rabbit moved. Just gluing the last of these acrylics down. And then I was like, oh, what am I going to embellish with? I haven't pulled out anything. Oh no, I'm not up to that yet. I'm just adding in a tiny bit more of this blue. And I'm going to distress that a little bit. Okay, so what I've got here is, it's a digital collection that I have printed at home. It's by Traci Designs and it is called Eggcited. It's super cute. I did a print and a print and cut on my Cameo. So I've used my scan and I did a print and cut on my Cameo. Yes, that's what I did. A print and cut, not a scan and cut. And so I am just using the pieces here. I just tried to pull out pieces that fit my color scheme. I had these little carrots and I thought, you know what, I'm going to sneak those in here as well. So I also pulled in a little bit of orange. These florals are gorgeous. So I'm just tucking those in and around. I end up with 3 clusters. So one over by the title, one to the bottom right, and then I end up with a smaller cluster up to the top right of the photo as well. And you can see I'm just bringing in each of the colors. I love this little arrow that says love. It's cute. Sorry for my head again. Tucking into different layers just for some interest. Wasn't loving the white core of that paper, so I just tore some of that off. I'm going to add my journaling here in silver, and then I'm like, I've run out of room. So I've got this little blue one that I'm going to add the rest of my journaling with, my silver pen to. Here I have stuck everything down. I figured you saw me put it all out, so you didn't need to see me then stick it all down. I've got a little label here. And I am going to add a tiny bit more journaling to that. I think it says the Great Bunny Trap of 2020. And then the date, which I'm also going to stamp in silver ink. I'll make sure that I link this collection, this digital collection, in the description box below as well. It's so fun. So fun. There's a bunny butt in the collection. It's a cute little bunny butt. Okay. I was like, mixed media, what else can I add? What else can I add? So I pulled out some sequins, again, in the same colours, but what I've got here, the first 3 that you see me stick down, it's really hard to see it. They're little tiny bunny heads. They're pink ones. There's gold ones in this set as well, but they are so stinking cute, these little bunny heads. I got this sequin pack from the Stamp Spot. I don't know what it's called, but it's got little tiny bunny heads in it. So cute. Added some more mixed media with some silver splatters. I think the one that I use is called Silver Bells, and it is an original Shimmers product. And I'm just going around and splattering. I was going to clean it off the acrylics and stuff, but I really like the way it looks, so I did leave it on there. So some close-ups here. I love that stenciling in the background. It's just a bit of extra interest without being in your face. So Rachel has changed the rules a little bit with the entry for the Scrap the Boys challenges. So head over to the Facebook group and upload to the album there. I will make sure I link everything below. This was a super fun challenge. I really, really had fun with this. If you've been following me for a little while, you already know this. I love getting messy. I love getting painty. So yeah, this was super, super fun. I love that I've got all of those acrylics on there. If you have any questions, please make sure you leave them below. Otherwise, I can't wait to see what you create for this month's Scrap the Boys challenge. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon.